Hey guys, welcome to the Black Republican Theory. Thank you for tuning in and being loyal shea butter Republicans. So on today's show, I actually want to go over multiple things. We've been, we've been taking a bit of a hiatus away from actually posting videos, and the reason being is because we've been enjoying our various blessings, whether it be family, whether it be job promotions, etc. We've just been enjoying those things, right? And so, today is the first day of Maryland's in-person early voting. And if you are in the Baltimore City area, I actually do have a list of endorsements of candidates that I would support if I were on either side. And so if you are a nonpartisan voter, an unaffiliated voter, independent, that means you can, in Baltimore City, you can only vote for the school board. I would endorse Michael Eugene Johnson and Karen Yusufat. I think that's her last name, Yusufat. The reason that I would endorse them is because they have been involved in the Baltimore City community. They are long-term individuals in long-term ties to the community. They're not just passing through with Baltimore City. They're both invested with their time, their ties, and their talent to Baltimore City. And so for that reason, I would endorse them. I also would endorse Ivan Bates. Now, Ivan Bates is a small business owner. He's an attorney. He's former military. He has a discipline and structure to lead the state's attorney's office and reform the state's attorney's office. He's a former prosecutor and now criminal defense attorney, along with being a real estate attorney. And I think he's also involved in medical malpractice as well, his firm, that is. I strongly endorse that. I've heard some negative things about some of his opponents. Marilyn Mosby, I would not endorse her because, quite frankly, she is corrupt, in my opinion, in her financial dealings. But she's also corrupt in the fact that, in the way that she runs the state's attorney's office. She's been prosecuting a guy named Keith Davis Jr. for I think she's pursuing him for a 5th time. And he's been held in prison for 7 years. Okay, that this is unconstitutional. This is against his civil rights, and she is leading the charge against that. Not only that, but she lied in order to actually, charge the police officers after the aftermath of Freddie Gray. And then the questions about Thiru Vignarajah, I know he has Governor Hogan's endorsement. That says a lot. But let's also think about this. There are some people who have raised questions about Thiru Vignarajah's past, and particularly his work history, and specifically that he could be an abusive, physically and verbally abusive supervisor. Do we want somebody like that leading the state's attorney's office? I have questions about him abusing his name and title when he was getting pulled over for, he was going up and down Greenmount Avenue with a lady friend, and then also selling state secrets. I don't know if that speaks to his integrity. And I just hope that the voters of Baltimore City could be a bit smarter when they are picking who they want to lead the state's attorney's office. For that reason, I would be endorsing Ivan Bates. There's no question about his past. Now, next, I would have an unresounding endorsement for Anthony Brown. Why? Because when we had a voting issue over here at Grove Park, they moved our polling location. Only Anthony Brown as the only candidate to actually respond to our request for help. He called me directly followed by calling my neighborhood association vice president. And he has been there as a responsive person to, you know, advocate on our behalf. So I would trust him in a position of authority to actually try to seek out answers. For that reason, I unresoundingly endorse him. And I know that there's questions about his past as a lieutenant governor under Martin O'Malley, who was positioning for president and ran our state into the ground to do so. But you also got to remember that Anthony Brown is going up against Martin O'Malley's wife, who I wouldn't want Dominique to be judged by the things that I do. So why would I, judge a person by the things that their spouse does? However, if you've been a long time person in the political establishment, your parents have as well, your husband has, you're probably setting up the office for your children too, and at least you've tried to do it for your son-in-law. Why would we trust you to have Maryland's best interests, Baltimore City's best interests, and quite frankly, the black community's best interests in mind? Not saying that anybody with black skin would be better than anyone else, but quite frankly, let's give someone else a chance rather than selling to a political dynasty. Next on the list to talk about is the fact that Baltimore City Public Schools CEO Sonja has got a commendation from Baltimore City's mayor and the state senator Cory McCray and Stephanie Smith, the state delegate Maggie McIntosh. There were a lot of officials there who gave Sonja as a commendation. I disagree with that. Why? Is because we have a grade-changing scandal that has affected 12,000 students. We have taxpayer dollars that are being wasted. We have so many issues that stem from the school system and in the school system. And after 6 years and over $1 million something in salary later, not to mention the other perks and benefits, our school system, to the school CEO, our school system has not gotten any better at all. No better than what it was, even back when I was in school. It's only gotten worse. And I just want to know, when are we going to be fed up? But with leadership giving commendations for doing good in her leadership of the school district, I don't have much faith that it will get better. Right now, there's a taxpayer lawsuit led by Jovanni Patterson and his wife. I forgot her name, starts with an S. But Mr. and Mrs. Patterson are leading a taxpayer lawsuit for the school system failing to actually educate students and their parents. I strongly approve of that lawsuit, and not only that, but Jovanni is actually a good buddy of mine. Met him through the Republican Party, reached out to him for all the activism that he does in the community. I've actually admired this man's tenacity since he ran for for city council president back in 2020, and he ran on a family first campaign, a family first model, a family first platform. I approve of that. And actually, there was a big name to join the lawsuit of recently. Attorney Ben Crump, the civil rights attorney. Yes, that same attorney who pops up at every shooting of anyone now, because he's gone beyond just representing black people. He's joined in, and he said that, hey, this is a crime and a travesty. And guess what? I agree with attorney Ben Crump. And I hope that he takes this thing to trial, that the Pattersons get answers for the taxpayers of Baltimore City, because quite frankly, too often and too long have we allowed generation after generation to just be thwarted in terms of education. Truly be thwarted. Actually, I'm gonna take this way. That way I can get off, because the traffic is ridiculous. And so next on the list is crime. I think, and someone said this on the radio, that the Democratic Party, particularly Democrats in Baltimore City, are committing a form of genocide on the black community by giving individuals in the community every form and every thing that they need to destroy themselves. You give them poor education, which directly correlates to crime and job opportunities, etc. Then you take away the actual jobs. You put these methadone clinics and all of these addiction clinics inside of communities. You continuously divest from the community, take all of the resources out, and then you expect these communities to thrive, when in actuality you're killing the community. And this is a strategic plan that the Democrats have done. Quite frankly, as a student of history and as a future real estate lawyer, real estate law student, and a real estate appraiser, I see what happens when these communities have all of our investments taken out of them. All of the investments that our taxpayer dollars pay for. And yet the city government continues to do this. They're really committing genocide against the black community, and specifically in Baltimore. The Democratic Party is. Next, this is something of national value. I'm looking right now at the gas prices over at a gas station. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm driving now. Gas prices are $5 still, guys. $5. And this is really just a subsidized price, because Biden was talking about getting rid of the gas tax nationally. And this is an artificially lowered gas price. Right now, Biden has authorized the Strategic Petroleum Reserves to release 1 million barrels of oil each day. Okay? This is a matter of national security. And guys, let me tell you something. The oil is actually, and the gas is not actually going to people in the United States. There was a report by Reuters as of last week. Actually might have been this week, that said that the gas is actually going to the Netherlands, India, China, okay? It's not going to the United States and to help us out. It's going primarily being exported from our own reserves, using our own tax dollars. Guys, we've got to wake up. These people, particularly the Democrats and their cronies in media and in finance, are trying, and all these other big corporations are trying to destroy the American economy and, quite frankly, the American way of life. And if you are someone on the lower economic rungs of society, you are the ones most at risk. You are the ones most at risk. Guys, I just want you all to wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. This has been the Black Republican Theory. My name is Terry. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.